So I was talking with a friend yesterday, right, about the point of addictions, and I was supporting him with the specific point of addiction that he was walking through. And as we were talking, I was thinking about the point of like I never really had like addictions, or like if I did have addictions, which is like having abnormally craving for something, that's the definition of it. I was always able to just stop it right there. I'm like, all right, I don't want to do that anymore, and I would just stop, right? But it was fascinating because I was like, why is it that, like, for me, addiction is not like a strong point, right? And I was thinking about the fact that so I grew up in Iran, right, for the first 14 years of my life, and over there I didn't have access to internet, YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram. Like I didn't even know about most of this stuff. Obviously, I had heard about Facebook, heard about Google, but I never used it because I didn't have internet back then, right? And I never really watched TV, right? When I was growing up, we would just play soccer with my cousins, some friends, and like sports like that. We didn't really, and video games that was like just single player. I didn't even know you could play video games online, right? So it's like for me, I never got programmed with that point of, oh, addictions are bad, addictions are like hard to let go of. If you let go of an addiction, you go through withdrawals, right? Just think about those points that I just mentioned, right? It's not just addiction that is hard to let go of. Let's say you're addicted to smoking weed. Let's say you're addicted to watching porn. What else are people addicted to? Video games, whatever. Like, take any addiction, right? If you think about it, it's like you grow up, especially if you grow up in the US, Canada, and whatnot. It's like you see a lot of advertisement, movies, videos, a lot of people talking about how difficult it is to let go of addictions, right? And I think it creates this point within each person, this fear of like, oh shit, like I don't want to become addicted. Like people who are addicted to, let's say, coffee, right? And it's funny, like I like drinking coffee. I don't like it. I see the point, the benefit of it, supporting the body. And also, I've been with many multimillionaires and whatnot, and they don't eat breakfast in the morning. They just have their coffee, and then they eat breakfast, lunch at like 11, 12, something like that, right? Because first they put their focus, energy in working, and then it's like you get a reward by eating, right? Because if you just wake up and eat something, then it's like you're not rewarding yourself for anything. You're actually programming your body to become lazier to a sense, right? So, but for me, it's like I could go days without drinking coffee. It's like I don't have that emphasis on the point of, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, right? So that fear that's created, I think when someone, and then obviously you watch movies and stuff, and you're constantly impulse with like sexual stuff, with smoking, drinking. Like watch many movies, TV shows, and like many scenes, the person who's like high in their high status makes a lot of money, they're always like with a drink in their hand or smoking or something. So many people think, oh, to be a badass, to be like this high earner, high status guy, I need to be smoking, I need to be drinking. And then when you start doing that, then there's the fear of, oh shit, now I'm addicted, I don't want to let go of it, right? Vaping, right? But think of it as a point of, obviously, and without having the right tools or the right support, it could be very difficult to see the patterns of why you're doing this, the thing that you're doing, right? Someone who's smoking, there's like a trigger, like something happens where they become frustrated or stressed or something, and then that's like their trigger of like, okay, now I need to smoke. But what if there was a way where you could practically support yourself each time you became stressed, and there was a simple process that would take you, let's say, 15, 30 minutes to release that stress physically so that it never comes back in that context that you're having the stress. Then in that case, it's like instead of just going straight to smoking, you just do that process, let go of it, and now you don't have the need for smoking, right? But also, if you look at it, ask yourself, if you have an addiction and you're watching this, right? Because I could get many attacks of like people being like, oh, you don't understand, blah, 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 right? But just emotions aside, if you look at it of like many of us, let's say if you're addicted to against smoking, because many people do that, smoking, vaping. First of all, when you keep thinking about, oh, I need to quit smoking, I need to quit smoking, all you're focusing on is smoking. Like, the word smoking is in there. So each time that you're like, I need to quit smoking, you're thinking about smoking, and guess what? Eventually you're gonna go smoke. But what if you become equal to smoking? Meaning, you let go of all the judgments from other people, from yourself, and be like, it's okay to smoke. What's the big deal? Like, when you can get to that level, that's when it's ironic, but when you become equal to it, when you let go of all the emotions of like, oh, I'm smoking, this and that, it's bad, I need to quit. But when you get to a point of like, yeah, it might be bad, but I'm doing it anyway, so what's the point of just beating myself over it? When you get to that point, you'll be surprised that's actually the point that you just let go of smoking, right? And I know it's weird, but that's how it is for me when I was, let's say, would watch a lot of YouTube videos, would eat a lot of chips, like, I don't know, all this different stuff, right? I just let go of all the judgments from other people of like, oh, don't eat chips, you're gonna get fat, this and that. I was like, well, I'm doing it anyway, so why should I beat myself over it and think like, oh no, this is such a bad thing? And for me, when I would get to that state of mind, then it's like I had no desire to eat it. Like, if chips is there, that's cool. I don't even eat it most of the time. If I'm really, really hungry and the food is getting ready in like 20-30 minutes, then I might eat a few just to hold me off. But it's like I don't have cravings anymore. Like, I don't crave for different things, right? There's times where I'm like, all right, I haven't had this for a while, for months. Let me go have a little bit, right? Just to see what it was like. But even that, if I don't have it, it's not the end of the world, right? So really look at that point. And this, obviously, if you're going through addictions, like, reach out one-on-one, because I need to, like, each addiction is different. Each trigger for an addiction is different. Each pattern of how you got into that in the first place is different. But if you have something like that, feel free to reach out. Like, I'm not a judgmental person. I'm not like, oh, why are you doing this? Like, I support people for a living. Like, if I love doing this. I've been through it. I came from Iran, like, third world country. I had to walk through so many programs of money, relationship, how to let go of so many points of judgment. And so it's like I understand what people are going through because I walked through it, right? So if you have actually like a serious point of addiction and you don't know how to let go of it, right? Definitely reach out. And it doesn't cost you anything. Just go in the link. You could book a 20-minute call just to chat, just to see what even is going on. And then I may be able to suggest free tools or groups that we have where you could get more support, right? But yeah, like, if you have something like that, definitely reach out. But again, back to that point, addiction, if you look at it, is just the emphasis that the society puts on how bad addiction is. That's the point that many people struggle with letting go of it. But if you don't have that emphasis, just like how I grew up with no internet, nothing, no impulse, and I never even knew the word addiction, for me, it was easy to just let go of things. I would just put it down, never touch it again. Like, it didn't matter. As long as it didn't make sense, I would just stop it. If it made sense, then yeah, I would do it. But there's a difference between doing something from the starting point of it makes sense versus doing something because you're addicted to it, right? So yeah, hope this helped some people, right? Again, I was talking to a friend and this point really supported him, so I was like, let me make a video on it. If you need anything, reach out. Always here. You could leave comments, like the video so more people could watch it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.